हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द भट शो। और आज की हमारी गेस्ट है एन एक्ट्रेस, मॉडल, सिंगर, डांसर एंड मेनी अदर थिंग्स। वेल, आई पर्सनली गेट वेरी एक्साइटेड टू टॉक टू सच पीपल हु एक्सेल इन मल्टीपल फील्ड्स और अपना नाम रोशन करते हैं। I think this quality depicts a lot about their nature, that constant urge to do something or the other and keep on growing, and a lot about her strong hustle too. Trust me, she's lived the quintessential Bollywood dream. तो आप लोग आराम से बैठिए, बहुत सारी बातें हैं करने को, and let's go and talk to the fabulous, fashionable, multi-talented Shama Sikander.
मैं सारे ब्रांडेड कपड़े पहन के मेरे गोल्डन बाल और मेरी लेंस वाली आंखें लेके वहाँ गई तो उनको लगा बाप रे टिकटॉक 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 ऐसे आवाजें आती है, इससे चुप रहो, ऐसे सवाल नहीं करते या मजहब पे ऐसे सवाल नहीं पूछते। आई हैव बीन थ्रू डिप्रेशन एंड बाइपोलर माई सेल्फ फॉर 5 years. Casper, he loves it when people come home. I did not meet people for 5 years. And I left my career at the height of my career. I stopped shooting.
ये बहुत ही कलरफुल जर्नी है, आई वुड से। Hello Shama.
Hi.
A very very warm welcome.
Thank you.
And first of all, मेरे को बस एक बात कहनी है कि I get very finicky when I'm sitting in front of someone who's very on point with fashion. तो आज क्या हुआ, सुबह costume team बैठी थी and they got one set. I was like, never has it happened.
अच्छा.
पहली बार में यहाँ ठीक है.
हाँ.
But आज I was like fourth पर भी बोला यार अब ना ठीक लग रहा है. So whatever it is. So I want to ask you, am I okay?
बहुत अच्छा है, मतलब बेस्ट से और क्या चाहिए?
Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, but that's the validation I wanted.
Sweet.
So, Shama, just how are you feeling? Like, I think it's a very question. We just say it like just like that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely want to know how are you feeling today, and what's your mind state like these days?
Wow, thank you for asking this question and thank you for being so honest that you really want to know, because most of the times मैंने भी देखा है कि लोग पूछते हैं how are you, फिर सुनने के लिए ready भी नहीं रहते हैं.
Correct.
Move on हो जाते हैं. So how am I feeling today? I'm going to be very honest with you. Some days are great and some days are okay. I think today is that okay day for me. You just you wake up with certain emotions which you're not sure of. When you're uncertain, I think today is that uncertain day. But
regarding profession or generally
no, just
life?
generally, when you wake up, and I think औरतों के तो hormones भी इतने ऊपर नीचे होते हैं कि when you suddenly you wake up and you're like in some other world for no rhyme or reason.
Chalo, hopefully after this, hopefully your mood is better and converts into that day.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. No, my mood is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's some days I'm really like, it's a really great day because internally you're feeling just perfect about everything. So today is not, I'm not feeling so perfect about everything, but it's perfect to feel like this and it's okay to feel like this. And I've, with time and with experience, allowed myself to feel not so okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Which is okay.
Which is okay.
Which is okay.
So.
So I think let's start with this only then.
Yes.
I want to talk about mental health. Why? Because you've worked in a series of short films.
Yes.
And all the topics, they were related to mental complexities.
Yes.
And I was just interested as an audience that why did you choose such topics? Is there any relevance from your life जो आपको लगा कि why,
Yes, actually, I have been through depression and bipolar myself for 5 years, and I almost gave up my life for that. And when I went through that, I felt like there was no light. It was all dark. It was so dark, and it was so unknown, and the fear of something being so unknown to not only to you but to everybody around you was very scary and very lonely. So when I went through that that whole phase of 5 years, and I thought that I'm not going to survive this, and I did. After I survived, I asked this question that why did you not let me die? Because I always have these conversations with the universe. And my father used to, as a child, used to think I'm a little crazy because I'm always talking to somebody who doesn't exist. So they can't see the person, so I was always talking to God. And so I had this conversation, why did you make me live? Because I really wanted to go, and I thought I'll come back in another birth, like as a new person. So I knew that much. I don't know why and how, but I knew that much. At that time, we didn't have so much knowledge of science and neuroscience, and all these YouTube videos were not so easily available when all this happened. Nobody knew what depression is. Nobody knew what bipolar is. And what was happening to me, nobody had a clue. And my friends couple of times asked me, why are you not meeting us? What happened? And sometimes I even told them what is happening to me. I used to tell them I don't know. I just cry for hours, and then I have no energy left to meet anybody, and then I don't feel like meeting anybody, and I have this weird anger towards the world and towards my parents and everybody, and so they would just listen to me and they say, अरे कुछ नहीं, तू बाहर निकल, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, पार्टी करते हैं सब ठीक हो जाएगा, या चल बाहर निकल, कॉफी पीते हैं सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
आपको इरिटेशन होती थी थोड़े रिएक्शन से?
पहले तो पता भी नहीं चलता था, मुझे भी लगता था ठीक है शायद कॉफी पीने से ठीक हो जाएगा. So when you go for a coffee, then there is no real conversation happening. It's all superficial. So क्या हो रहा है तेरी लाइफ में? हाँ सब ठीक है. अच्छा तेरी लाइफ में क्या हो रहा है? अच्छा तू क्या काम कर रहा है? So everything was so work related, everything was so material related, that my soul was feeling very empty day by day. And the more those conversations happened, the more I hated those conversations, because I was like, it's not fulfilling. It's just depleting. It's not giving me something. And so I stopped meeting people. I did not meet people for 5 years. And I left my career at the height of my career. I stopped shooting because I didn't feel like shooting.
And this was in which year?
This was in, oh God, it was 10 years ago, I think, when I was doing 7 with Yash Raj.
Yeah.
And I think I was on Yash Raj's set when the first hit of depression hit me, like really hit me. And I mean, I had a dream to work with Yash Raj. You're doing a dream job, sitting on a dream set, and everything was just dreamy and dreams coming true. And then I had this deep boredom. I was sitting there and I started shaking, and I was like, I've never felt this at work. I mean, I love my work so much. I felt alive all the time when I was shooting, and I used to tell everybody, क्या तुम इतने रोते हो अपने काम के लिए? मुझे तो बड़े मजे आते हैं. And they used to say, यार तू बड़ी लकी है यार, तेरे को बड़े मजे आते हैं काम का. I said, I never really feel like I go to work. And that was the first time I felt bored. Bored is not the right word. I cannot explain the depth of that boredom. And I felt like, why am I sitting here? What is the purpose of my life? Why am I here? Why am I working like a dog every day? Why am I running? What am I running for? What do I want to achieve?
All questions just
came once in bombardment, and I remember I was sitting outside and I was drawing something with a stick. Because we were shooting in sandy area, like a child I was stick. And I had this oh my God, I have not even lived my childhood. Because I felt like a child at that time doing that. And I never had that opportunity much in my life. I had it when I was very young.
Correct.
I started working very early. So all that happened in one moment, and then that moment just obviously it was happening much before, but that was the moment when I actually realized that something is happening to me. And then that show released, and then that didn't do well, not as well as we expected it to be. And then you see how industry behaves with you, when something does really well, they really...
Was it primarily because of the working environment?
So I'll tell you, at that time, I felt it was primarily because of working environment, because everybody evaluate your worth with your work and with your success. It's unfortunate. And you are also trained to evaluate your worth with your work and with your success. मम्मी बोलेगी तुम 10 लोग बोलेंगे आपका बेटा क्या करता है, आपकी बेटी क्या करती है, ओ मेरा बेटा हीरो है, या मेरी बेटी हीरोइन है, या मेरा बेटा ये डॉक्टर है, या इंजीनियर है, या ये लेवल पे है, या वो लेवल पे है. So there are always these pressures that you somehow just can't cope up with. And I think I was on the verge of asking all those very deep questions. I used to ask these deep questions when I was a child. When I was very, very young. And people used to shut me off कि इतना छोटे बच्चों को ऐसे ही सवाल नहीं करने चाहिए, because उनको भी जवाब नहीं पता थे. So वो डर के मारे मुझे चुप कर देते थे, But उस वक्त मुझे लगता था कि अच्छा ठीक है, शायद मेरे सवाल ठीक नहीं है, शायद मैं, you doubt yourself. But as you grow older and as you see life and as you understand कि नहीं यार आपके सवाल तो ठीक थे, लोगों को नहीं पता था इसके जवाब, तो वो लोग डर के मारे या कभी इंटिमिडेट होके चुप हो जाते थे कि इतनी छोटी बच्ची कैसे हमको ऐसे सवाल कर रही है, या उनको पता ही नहीं था, उनको नॉलेज ही नहीं था. तो जिनको नॉलेज नहीं होता उनको पता नहीं होता कि हाउ टू प्रोसेस दैट विद अ चाइल्ड, कि कैसे उनको जवाब दें. क्योंकि अगर आप ये बोलोगे कि मुझे तो पता ही नहीं है तो आप बेवकूफ़ लगोगे. सो दे शुड नेवर से मुझे पता नहीं है, दे शुड से चुप रहो, ऐसे सवाल नहीं करते, या मजहब पे ऐसे सवाल नहीं पूछते, या लाइफ पे ऐसे सवाल नहीं पूछते, कि उन्होंने खुद ने अपने आप को कभी ऐसे सवाल नहीं पूछे. सो व्हेन आई वाज शट ऑफ एज अ चाइल्ड, आई लर्न दैट these questions are not relevant and you should not be asking these questions. So I would also laugh at people, like how people laughed, and I would also do the superficial talk, but I was a very deep person. I did not like that very much. I always try to like keep myself away from all that. मैं कभी फिल्मी पार्टीज में नहीं जाती थी क्योंकि मुझे लगता था कि वहाँ तो कोई सुनना ही नहीं चाहता अपनी बात. So they just want to have a drink and they just want to stand there and just look at each other and then come back. हाँ, it was just about being there. तो मुझे वो समझ नहीं आता था कि इतना रेडी होके आदमी जाए और वहाँ किसी से बात भी नहीं कर पाए ढंग से, तो क्या मतलब है. So I used to meet people outside of the parties, like I have some amazing friends from the industry, और मैं उनसे बहुत अच्छा conversation outside the filmy parties.
I'm very interested to know about these famous filmy parties.
नहीं तो क्या है कि कुछ नहीं होता है वहाँ. It's literally nothing. It's just आप जाते हो वहाँ, आप सबको हाय हेलो हाय हाय हाउ आर यू हाउ आर यू हाउ आर यू, इतना ही होता है. कोई बोल ही नहीं पाता कि दिस इज हाउ आई एम और या आई एम फाइन. लिसन सुनने के लिए भी कोई रुकता नहीं है. इट्स अ वेरी वियर्ड. इट्स लाइक हाय हाउ आर यू से
Hi, how are you?
Hi, what's up? How are you? Hi, what's up? How are you? So it's like, okay, like you didn't even give me my moment. You just asked me a question, and you were not kind enough to, or not attentive enough to, or not present enough to even hear that. So all these questions are very deep questions. So they used to come in my mind, and I used to always. So मुझे ज़्यादा समझ नहीं आती थी फिल्मी पार्टीज, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. ना मैं शराब पीती थी, ना मैं कुछ सिगरेट पीती थी, तो मुझे कुछ भी नहीं समझ में आता था. वहाँ खड़े रह के मैं बस सबको देखती रहती थी. एंड देन पीपल की फोर्सिंग यू, आप भी पी लो आप भी पी लो आप भी पी लो. एंड देन यू लाइक या बट आई डोंट ड्रिंक. सो उनको लगता था अगर ये नहीं पिएगी तो ये हमारे जोन में नहीं रहेगी. हाँ, ये मिसफिट है यहाँ पे. ऐसा होता था कि मैं जाती थी और वापस 10 मिनट में वापस आ जाती थी. तो फिर मैंने सीख लिया कि चलो एक फॉर्मेलिटी के लिए जहाँ एक्चुअली में जाना है, चलो अपनी फिल्म पार्टी है तो आप उसको तो अवॉइड नहीं कर सकते, यू हैव टू गो. 10-15 मिनट में मैं जाके वापस आ जाती थी because I used to not relate with anybody there.
आपने इतना कुछ बोला. I have already so many questions in my mind.
Sure, please shoot.
So,
yeah.
So first of all, the questions you were talking about, you had that time
Yeah.
in your mind when you were going through all of this. Do you think you've got it all answered today?
तो काफ़ी हद तक बहुत सारे सवालों के मुझे जवाब मिले हैं, और मैंने रियलाइज़ किया है कि ये सब जवाब आपके अंदर ही होते हैं. ये सारी जो परतें आप पे दुनिया डालती है, सोसाइटी डालती है कि आपका ये नाम है, आपका ये मज़हब है और आप सो एंड सो हैं, ये सारी परतें जो है मिला के आपके उन सारे जवाबों को ना ढक देती है कहीं. क्योंकि आपको ये भी पता नहीं होता कि आप कौन हैं, आप सच में हैं कौन, और आपको क्या पसंद है, और आपकी क्या हसरतें हैं, क्या ख्वाहिशें हैं. उससे पहले आपके माँ बाप आप में ख्वाहिशें डाल देते हैं, उसके पहले आपके दादा दादी आप में ख्वाहिशें डाल देते हैं, उसके बाद ज़माना आप में ख्वाहिशें डाल देता है. तो आप ज़िंदगी उनके हिसाब से उनके लिए जीने लगते हैं, और उसे सराहा भी जाता है यहाँ पे. मतलब सैक्रिफाइस करते हो तो आप हीरो हो, या सैक्रिफाइस करते हो तो आप हीरोइन हो. मतलब ये हमारी मेंटालिटी है. और मतलब आज भी आई डोंट डिनाई दैट अगर किसी के लिए कुछ करना काबिल तारीफ़ है, अगर आपने अपने सेल्फ से बढ़ के किसी के लिए कुछ सोचा और किया, वो बहुत अच्छी बात है. लेकिन जिस तरीके से वो होता है वो गलत बात है. जिस तरीके से वो फोर्स करके ऑब्लिगेशन में एक बंदे को डाल के कराया जाता है, बचपन से सबकॉन्शियसली उसे ट्रेन करके कराया जाता है, दैट इज़ रॉन्ग. I should be able to do something for you if I want to do it. Pure love, no demand, no expectation, but out of pure heart. So that is the right thing. इसलिए मेरी सीरीज का नाम भी था आप दिल की सुन. मतलब तुम दिल की सुनते नहीं हो, और मतलब सब दिमाग ही चलता रहता है हर बार. So रिश्तों में जब लोग दिमाग लगाते हैं तो रिश्ते फिर ख़राब ही होंगे ना. फिर कहाँ से रिश्ते चलेंगे. और बिजनेस में जहाँ दिमाग लगाना चाहिए वहाँ तो दिल लगा बैठते हैं, तो बिजनेस भी नहीं ठीक चलते. सो आई फील लाइक जो चीज़ यहाँ के लिए बनी है उसे वहीं इस्तेमाल करो. मैं अपने आप को पढ़ी लिखी समझती हूँ. मैंने दुनिया देखी है, मैं दुनिया में गई हूँ आज तक. मुझे आज तक किसी बंदे ने डिप्रेशन तो दूर की बात है, ये वर्ड तो दूर की बात है, कभी ये भी नहीं बताया कि वो इस तरह के इमोशनल टॉर्चर से गुजर रहा है। तो वो मेरे लिए बहुत ही यूनिक था कि 6-6, 7-7 घंटे की कोई कैसे रो सकता है। और रोती थी मैं, मतलब जैसे कोई मर गया हो मेरा उस ग्रीफ से। रोज रोज अगर आप रोते रहो, आपकी क्या हालत होगी? आपको नींद नहीं आती थी। मुझे नींद नहीं आती थी घंटों घंटों, और मैं जब रो के थक जाती थी, जब मेरे में बिल्कुल एनर्जी नहीं रहती थी, तब मैं सोती थी, और सो के फिर एक सदमे से एकदम बाहर आके उठती थी। और ये मेरे साथ सालों हुआ है। तो एक टाइम ऐसा आता है जब आप एक वेजिटेबल की तरह बन जाते हो, बिकॉज देयर इज नो ड्रीम, देयर इज नो डिजायर, यू वेक अप, यू डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू। आई हैड दिस वेरी मीक वॉइस विद इन। छोटी सी एक आवाज़ आती थी कि तुम ठीक हो जाओगी, डोंट वरी, just hang on, just hang on, the help will come, just hang on. I think it was a dialogue from this movie, Passion of Christ, where he's getting beaten up badly and he's getting this voice. He's saying, help me, God, help me. And he gets this voice, the help will come, just hang on. I think something like that, that was the line. And that line got stuck in me. And it used to just call for me. The help will come, just hang on, the help will come, just hang on. And so 3 years I was like a vegetable, not meeting anybody, not doing anything. मेरी शक्ल बिगड़ गई, मेरी body बिगड़ गई. I was just not myself. If somebody looked at me, if somebody says, Shama, you're perfect today, अगर आज को बोलता है, अगर उस ज़माने में उस वक्त मुझे देखता तो वो रोने लग जाता. ऐसी मेरी हालत हो गई थी. So after 3 years of continuous therapy, वो भी मेरी जो आवाज़ आती थी ना अंदर से, वो मुझे ले जाती थी कि चल.
इस टाइम पे आपके कोई genuine friends थे इंडस्ट्री से?
तो ये भी बात है, फ्रेंड्स जेन्युइन होते हैं, लेकिन कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हमारी उम्मीदें उनसे इतनी ज़्यादा होती है ना. जैसे मुझे लगता था मेरे दोस्त को ना मेरी शक्ल देख के पता चल जाना चाहिए कि क्या गलत है मेरे साथ. जैसे वो बेचारा अंतर्यामी भी होना चाहिए, जैसे उसको मतलब सारी हमारी उम्मीदें, हमारे ईगो इतने बड़े बड़े होते हैं ना. आई थिंक ये उम्मीद लगाना दूसरों से कि उसे किस तरह से जेन्युइन हो, क्योंकि जेन्युइन तो ठीक है, पर जेन्युइन में बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती है. आपकी तरह जेन्युइन होना चाहिए कि नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हर एक का अपना अपना जेन्युइन का परिभाषा है ना. आप बोलेंगे नहीं मेरा दोस्त जेन्युइन मतलब मेरे साथ लॉयल होना चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए, वो होना चाहिए, फिर मेरी जेन्युइन की परिभाषा कुछ और होगी. तो दोस्त है.
बट ये तो एक्सपेक्टेशंस की भी बात हो गई.
एग्जैक्टली. तो आप अगर जेन्युइन, जैसे अभी मुझे लगता है कि नहीं मेरा दोस्त जेन्युइन मतलब रोज आके मुझसे मिलना चाहिए, जेन्युइन मतलब रोज मुझे कॉल करना चाहिए, जेन्युइन मतलब मेरे साथ खड़ा होना चाहिए, चाहे मैं गलत हूँ चाहे सही हूँ. अब ये तो मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन हो गई ना. ये तो मेरी जेन्युइन की परिभाषा मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन ने बनाई है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं अगर वो ये सब नई चीज़ें नहीं कर पाता है तो वो जेन्युइन नहीं है. जेन्युइन अगर आप किसी से जुड़ते हैं तो जेन्युइन तो होता ही है, बट हो सकता है उन्हें भी नहीं पता हो कि आपको कैसे हेल्प करना है.
पर आपने स्माइल किया था इस क्वेश्चन के बाद, तो कुछ तो इसका है.
नहीं तो जैसे अभी मेरे दोस्त हैं जो मेरे आज भी दोस्त हैं, पर उस जमाने में उस वक्त वो मुझे नहीं हेल्प कर पाए, बिकॉज उन्हें ही नहीं पता था कि हो क्या रहा है इसको. अब अगर आप 4 बार लोगों को पुश करोगे तो भाग जाएंगे हमसे दूर. मतलब पागल है ये, जब भी इसको बुलाते हैं आती नहीं है, या हमसे बात नहीं करती है, रूडली बात करती है या पुश करती है. उन्हें भी शायद इतना नहीं था नॉलेज यार लाइफ का, तो मैं क्या उन्हें मतलब दिल पे लगा के बैठे रहूँ? नहीं. बट दे आर स्टिल माई फ्रेंड्स. सम ऑफ देम हु when they came to know that something like this was happening, they came to me and they said, why didn't you share it with us? Why didn't you tell us? And so I just laughed and smiled. I said, what would I tell you? Even if I told it to some people, they just didn't know how to react to it. So how could I just tell you that? How would I know कि तुम्हें पता होगा या तुम समझोगे? आज ऐसा नहीं होता है, पर उस वक्त इतनी समझ मुझे भी नहीं थी कि किसके साथ शेयर करना चाहिए, किसके साथ नहीं करना चाहिए. जिसके साथ किया उसे समझ में नहीं आया तो आपको लगता है शायद किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगा. ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ें थी. और उस वक्त इतना नॉलेज भी नहीं था यार, किसी को नहीं पता था ये डिप्रेशन क्या होता है. पढ़े लिखे लोग भी बता नहीं पाते थे. मैंने तो कभी सुना ही नहीं था. तो मेरे जो उस वक्त एक दोस्त थे, वो साइकोलॉजी उनकी ही वाज अ साइकोलॉजी डिग्री होल्डर, एंड ही लुक्ड एट मी एंड ही वाज लाइक you should meet a doctor. So I was like, what do you mean you should meet a doctor? He said, I think you have bipolar. The first time I heard this word called bipolar, I said, what do you mean bipolar? What is that? And so he explained me कि आपके brain में जो है chemicals होते हैं जो रोज fluctuate होते हैं ऊपर. And then he said like, I think because of all this, you might have a mild depression or maybe deep depression. I don't know, but I can't. Somebody has to evaluate all that. So you need to meet a professional doctor, psychiatrist. So the psychiatrist word was also first time. I was like, what is a psychiatrist? What does he do? So easily, no, he'll just evaluate you, you know. उससे क्या करेगा, मतलब क्या कुछ इंजेक्शन डालेगा वो. It's a normal study. He'll ask you a couple of questions. You just have to answer that. So I said, okay. But I didn't believe कि वो बोल रहा है ठीक हो जाएगा. He's like, just for me, just go once. I'll take you. तो मुझे लेके गया एक्चुअली डॉक्टर के पास. तो मैं डॉक्टर से मिली तो डॉक्टर ने मुझे इतना बड़ा पेपर वर्क दिया मुझे, इतने सारे पेजेस. It took me 2 hours or 3 hours to fill it. ऐसे सवाल पूछे थे जो मैंने खुद ने कभी ना देखे हैं, ना सुने हैं, ना कभी खुद से पूछे हैं. So I was like, ये क्या सवाल है, ये क्या सवाल है, I don't understand. What do I say? So you say whatever comes to your mind. Don't think too much. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. I didn't even know how to write things that come to my mind. ये सब चला तो उन्होंने कहा कि जी आपको बाइपोलर भी है और बहुत डीप डिप्रेशन में हैं आप. तो because I tried to commit suicide and you know they all saved me and so he was a little scared. He's like she's suicidal. तो I would suggest कि इनको medication पे डाला जाए. So I was like I don't think I can heal. I don't know why this guy is saying because मुझे तो नहीं लगता था कि मैं heal हो पाऊंगी. मुझे तो अब आप जब every day अगर आप ऐसे उठो ना 2-3 साल तक तो you lose all hope and I had lost all hope and that is the first time I realized that इंसान की सबसे बड़ी चीज़ जो होती है जो उसे नहीं खोनी चाहिए वो है होप. आप सब कुछ जीत सकते हैं अगर आप में होप है तो, लेकिन आपकी होप ही नहीं है ना तो आप कुछ नहीं, आपको कुछ फिर चाहिए ही नहीं. then you're just vegetable, then you're not human. So these desires that we keep talking about, these expectations of life, they are necessary. So ऐसी बहुत सारी चीज़ें मेरे साथ हुई, मैंने सीखा. मैं 3 साल 5 साल आई थिंक मैंने थेरेपी की और आई थिंक 3-3.5 साल के बाद रोज़ अपने आप को मर के ले जाने के बाद पहली बार मेरी लाइफ ना मुझे ब्लैक एंड वाइट में दिखती थी. मुझे सब ब्लैक एंड वाइट ही दिखता था, डार्क ही दिखता था विजुअली. अगर मैं आपको बताने की कोशिश करूँ, आई वाज जस्ट सिटिंग इन अ विंडो एंड ऐसे ही बैठे बैठे ना एक मुस्कुराहट आई मेरे चेहरे पे और पेड़ ना हिलते हुए दिखाई दिए. सो इट वाज ऑल वेरी, तो आई नोटिस के आई कैन सी ट्रीज shaking, you know, they're moving and suddenly in that black and white vision suddenly color appeared and it was so ecstatic. I can't tell you how it felt like a child. जो बच्चे में जो पहला black and white से color vision होता होगा ना, शायद वो मुझे feeling उस वक्त आई और I saw colors and I was so ecstatic. Now ecstatic doesn't mean I was laughing and jumping and whatnot, but I just had this smile and I hadn't smiled in 3.5-4 years. I hadn't smiled. And so that was my first ray of hope. And that's when I realized, wow, this therapy that I was so dreading to go to has been working on me. Has been working on me so quietly that I didn't even realize that it was working on me.
आपको ये moment इतना clearly याद है.
Yes.
Of course, it is a big moment of
It
your
was
life.
such a big moment for my life. And since then, I started to heal more and more and more. I started to smile. I started to meet my family. I started to meet people. It took me about 5 years to actually get back to normal. And once I was there, I started to see light. I started to hear voices. I had forgotten language because 3 साल तक अगर आप किसी से बात नहीं करोगे तो आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा क्या वर्ड्स होते हैं. तो मैं बोलते वो उसको बोलते ना क्या वो it used to be here but I didn't know what you know how to use that word because मैं किसी से बात ही नहीं करती थी. So ऐसा होता है, ये सच है कि डिप्रेशन से जब आप गुजरते हैं आपका ब्रेन इतने बड़े ट्रॉमा से गुजरता है कि बहुत सारी आपकी मेमोरी वाइप आउट हो जाती है, बहुत सारी लैंग्वेज भूल जाते हैं लोग. आपको थोड़ा वक्त लगता है वापस लोगों से बात करके इंटरेक्ट करके वो लैंग्वेज वापस आने में. तो इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है हमारी ह्यूमन इंटरेक्शंस. इसलिए बहुत ज़रूरी है हमारा एक दूसरे से मिलना, एक दूसरे से वर्ड्स एक्सचेंज करना, एनर्जी एक्सचेंज करना. सो इसीलिए कोविड में बहुत सारे लोग बहुत ही डिप्रेस थे बिकॉज ह्यूमन एनर्जी जो है एक्सचेंज नहीं हो पा रही थी. एक सिंपल चीज़ जो है ह्यूमन एनर्जी एक्सचेंज वो नहीं हो पा रहा था और इसलिए लोग बहुत ज़्यादा डिप्रेशन में जा रहे थे. तो डिप्रेशन क्या करता है, आपको सबसे अलग कर देता है ना, आइसोलेट कर देता है. तो दैट आइसोलेशन इज मोर हार्मफुल देन एनीथिंग एल्स. यू कैन एक्चुअली रिकवर फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ दैट बट टू रिकवर फ्रॉम दैट आइसोलेशन मे टेक यू अ लॉन्ग टाइम. एंड व्हेन आई रियलाइज दैट आई कुड हील, I was like, dude, there must be so many people who must be suffering and they're not able to share this with anybody just like how I was. And also the moment I healed, I had this deep calling. I need to help people. Because when I was asking this question, right? Why did you bring me back? What was the reason? Like, I just wanted to be another person. Could you not have just brought me back as another person? जब लोग मुझसे कुछ बात करने होते थे तो बात करनी होती थी उनको तो वो मुझे बात नहीं करते थे, वो ऑनेस्टली बताते नहीं थे, तो मुझे लगता था यार इतना भी क्या डर है लोगों में. फिर मुझे आई लर्न कि लोगों में बहुत डर है शेयर करने का, बताने का कि ये है वो है. तो मैंने एक इंटरव्यू दिया, किसी लेडी ने मुझे पूछा, किसी जर्नलिस्ट ने मुझे पूछा, बहुत सालों बाद एक इंटरव्यू दिया मैंने. तो उन्होंने पूछा आप कहाँ चली गई थी 5 साल से, किसी को पता नहीं आप कहाँ हैं, हमें आप अपना करियर हाइट पे छोड़ के कहाँ चली गई. तो मैंने उनको बताया कि ऐसा ऐसा हो गया था मेरे साथ और ये हुआ. मैंने उनको पूरा कहानी सुनाया और उन्होंने बोला अच्छा ओके, तो अभी आप क्या करेंगे. तो मैंने कहा अभी मैं काम करना शुरू करूँगी. तो वो इतना लंबा जो मैंने इंटरव्यू दिया, उन्होंने इतना इंटरव्यू छापा, उन्होंने सिर्फ इतना छापा कि मैं कहीं चली गई थी और मैं जो है अब काम करने के लिए वापस रह गई. तो आई वॉज थिंकिंग क्या प्रॉब्लम है. देन आफ्टर सम टाइम आई थिंक आई वॉज थिंकिंग अबाउट इट कि व्हाई डिड शी नॉट राइट अबाउट इट. आई थिंक शी फेल्ट दैट मुझे काम नहीं मिलेगा. आई थिंक शी फेल्ट कि लोगों को लगेगा कि मैं पागल हूँ. वो सारी जो चीज़ें जो लोगों को डर होता है जिन चीज़ों का, शायद उसके दिमाग में भी वो डर था. और वो शी रियली लाइक मी एज एन आर्टिस्ट एंड शी रियली लव्ड मी एज अ पर्सन. शी डिडंट वांट टू से दैट टू पीपल. एंड सो आई वाज लाइक वाओ, लाइक आई टोल्ड यू एंड यू थिंकिंग कि ये गड़बड़ हो जाएगा मेरी लाइफ के लिए, तुमने छापा ही नहीं आगे. कितना डर है लोगों में. So I was like, okay, God, now you told me to help. Now you also have to guide me. How to help? How do I help? How do I do? What do I do? तो मुझे लगता था पहले बड़े पहाड़ तोड़ने पड़ेंगे, कुछ माउंटेन सरकाने पड़ेंगे, कुछ हेल्प करने के लिए कुछ ऐसा करना पड़ेगा.
And coming to आपने relationships की भी बात करी थी बीच में. So you got married recently.
Yes,
Congratulations.
thank you.
And how was it? I just want to know about your wedding.
It was magical.
Yeah.
It was more than I could ever imagine. It was full of love.
Okay.
It was literally magical.
Yeah.
Because I had the most closest friends and family with me, and we all partied hard for 3 days, 3 days 2 nights, and in Goa. And it was a white wedding. People used to ask me पहले कि आप कैसे शादी करना चाहती हैं, तो मुझे पता ही नहीं होता था कि मैं कैसे शादी
बचपन में आपने सोचा था आपकी
नहीं कभी नहीं. सो ऐसे से कई बार लोग मेरे को प्रेस पूछती थी पहले कि आप कैसे शादी करना चाहती हैं, तो ऐसे वंडर लाइक यार शिट मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं है मैं कैसे शादी करना चाहती हूँ, बिकॉज मैं कभी शादी के बारे में सोचती नहीं थी. तो एंड आई वाज रेज्ड लाइक अ टॉम्बॉय इन माय हाउस ना. मेरे पापा मुझे बेटा बेटा बुलाते थे, तो मैं बहुत लड़कों जैसी थी.
अच्छा. तो
थोड़ा वक्त लगा मुझे लड़कियों जैसा बनने में. माय टीनेज इयर्स चेंज्ड मी. Thank God they changed. So, imagine me like, what's up, bro? Like, that'd be different. No, so I think I always liked white weddings. As an Indian, हम इतना अपने यहाँ की शादियाँ इतनी देख चुके हैं, और हमारे यहाँ की शादियों में ना उसका भी अपना एक मज़ा है. बट मुझे लगता था white wedding is so clean. कोई किसी पे मेहंदी नहीं लगाता, कोई किसी हल्दी नहीं लगाता, किसी को ये नहीं करता. इट्स सो क्लीन, पीसफुल. और आई लव द होल कॉन्वर्सेशनल पार्ट ऑफ इट. क्योंकि वहाँ पर ना जब वाइट वेडिंग होती है, आफ्टर दैट दे हैव अ सिट डाउन डिनर वेयर पीपल रेज अ टोस्ट एंड दे टॉक, दे हैव अ कॉन्वर्सेशन. एंड सो आई वांटेड टू, व्हेन आई थॉट ऑफ गेटिंग मैरिड, आई थॉट लाइक या that's the way I would like to get married. Clean, neat, fun, get clean. So and luckily I was dating a white guy who was all about it. So we did have some Indian functions, like the Sangeet was full on Indian. They have never seen Sangeet in their life, so the whole family was, whoever saw it, they were like, what is this?
It's a great cross cultural. Yeah.
So we mixed it like that. But हमने वो हल्दी वगैरह वो सब नहीं करी, जो मुझे खुद वैसे भी नहीं पसंद है. मुझे लगता है इससे भी तो क्या ही गोरा होगा आदमी हल्दी लगा के. तो एनीवे दैट वाज जोक. तो वो जो कॉन्वर्सेशनल पार्ट जो मुझे पसंद था, जो मैंने हमेशा, आई डोंट थिंक मैंने बहुत सारी वाइट वेडिंग्स अटेंड करी हैं, बट जब भी कभी वीडियोस देखी हैं, कुछ देखा है, तो मुझे बहुत पसंद था. तो जब मेरी अपनी शादी में हमने ऐसा किया, तो आई कांट टेल यू व्हाट मैजिक इट क्रिएटेड. इट वाज, आई वाज राइट टू एक्चुअली चूज टू गेट मैरिड लाइक दैट, because it just had a different power. It just had a different, it created such a beautiful vibe when everybody came on stage and spoke their heart out about us, about our relationship, and about how they feel about us. And you know, not many people, especially in our country, get the chance to express their feelings for their friends. आप कभी बोलते हो खड़े हो कि यार मेरे को एक बात करनी है तुझसे, सुन मुझे तू ऐसा लगता है या ऐसी लगती है, कभी नहीं बोलते हो आप. You take it for granted. You never really say it. So this is another thing my depression has taught me, like express. Express your emotions correctly. Say whatever it is from within rightly, like how you're feeling, not jump in that moment itself. Even if you want to take some moment, take that time, process it in your mind, and then come and have a conversation about it. Not fight, but have a conversation about it. And if you feel love for somebody, freaking go out of your way and express it. I'll be like, I was very suppressed before as a human being. I think by myself, I would just think 10,000 things कि अभी ऐसा बोलूँगी तो पता नहीं क्या सोचेगा, क्या सोचेगी, ये वो सब. मैंने सब बंद कर दिया वो. I like nothing doing anymore. If I like somebody, I'm going to say I like you. If I don't like somebody, I'm going to say thank you very much. It was lovely meeting you. Don't meet me again. You know, you have to draw these boundaries and you have to be very, very expressive towards that. So to see everybody express that gratitude towards us just changed the whole vibe, and it was just magical. It was pure love. Pure love. I couldn't imagine. I didn't imagine it to go so well. So it went very well. I was very quickly decided wedding. It was just, we did everything in like a month's time. Yeah. So it was fun.
So about your journey,
how
you started and like, you know, that first day. So I think your family comes from Rajasthan. And आप, I think, जितना मैंने पढ़ा है, आप 9 साल की थी, that's when you moved to Mumbai.
To Bombay, yeah.
And so personally, that first feeling, you know, from coming from a different state, you know, an actress, want to work in the films, वो feeling कैसी थी और वो कहाँ आपको feel हुआ?
मुझे बिल्कुल फील नहीं होता था.
नहीं फील हुआ था? Why?
मुझे तो डर लगता था बहुत, because I used to think I liked watching movies, but I was I had no confidence in myself as a child, like not in that manner. If you tell me to fight, I'll go fight with people, 10 people, because I was like a tomboy, right? And everybody was like, I was like a gunda. सब मेरी सुनेंगे, सब मेरी बात, because I was also the eldest child in the family, so everybody anyways pampered me so much कि मुझे लगता था मेरा राज चलता है सब जगह. तो मुझे नहीं पता वो मुझे ऐसे फील कराते because they love me so much. मुझे लगता है सब डरते हैं मुझसे. So
आपने अपनी wedding में बोला था when you were talking?
No, I don't remember I said that, but I'm telling you today. I don't think I've ever said that before. मुझे actually मेरे ego को बड़ी boost मिलती थी कि सब डरते हैं मुझसे. So जब मैं first time यहाँ आई तो मेरे पापा shift हो गए थे यहाँ पे, and this was the first time out, मतलब मैं अपनी family के बगैर सिर्फ मेरी फैमिली के साथ रह रही थी. We used to live in a joint family before, and so मेरे चाचा के बच्चे सब एक साथ रहते थे. But we were boarding school kids, so हमें थोड़ा थोड़ा अकेले रहने की आदत थी, बट एकदम फैमिली से ऐसे अकेले रहने की आदत नहीं थी. हमें पता था कि छुट्टियां होंगी तो हम वापस फैमिली के पास ज़रूर जाएंगे. तो पहली बार जब पापा यहाँ आए तो हम भी सारे शिफ्ट हो गए यहाँ पे, एंड देन वी वर लाइक इट वाज टू ओवरवेलमिंग फॉर मी. बॉम्बे शहर बहुत बड़ा है. आई कम फ्रॉम अ वेरी स्मॉल टाउन मकराना. वहाँ पर तो मतलब उस वक्त अगर आप आईब्रो बना ले तो मतलब उस पर बड़ा कांड हो जाएगा. मतलब ऐसे ऐसे लोग बोलेंगे हाय हाय राम आईब्रो बनाने चली गई, मतलब पता नहीं क्या कर रही है. मतलब इट्स स्मॉल टाउन.
Of course. Even today there is a lot of.
हाँ आज भी होता होगा, बट लाइक आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट टाइम. ना कोई ब्यूटी पार्लर हुआ करता था, ना कोई मतलब कुछ भी नहीं था वहाँ. My father was the only one who used to travel abroad. I mean, one of the few members from that town who used to travel abroad or Bombay and get me all these fancy clothes. So I was always very fancily dressed, even in my small town.
Okay.
Wantingly or unwantingly, I don't know. I was always like, so I used to say, "तू बड़े fancy कपड़े पहनती है." And also because I was studying in boarding schools, I was a little better than all the other kids because वहाँ लड़कियों को पढ़ाया नहीं करते थे ज़्यादा. और मेरे पापा बहुत मॉडर्न ख्यालात के थे, तो उनको लगता था कि नहीं मेरी बेटी पढ़नी चाहिए. And I was the first daughter in like 4 decades in our family, so I was very very pampered. बहुत छूट दी हुई थी मुझे बट मुझ पे बहुत जिम्मेदारी भी थी क्योंकि बड़ा बच्चा था. तो कोई दादा को लगता था कि हमारा बच्चा इंजीनियर बनेगा, कोई बोलते थे कि डॉक्टर बनेगा. तो बड़े प्रेशर आते थे मुझ पे कि कोई बोलता है डॉक्टर बनो, कोई एंड आई हेटेड साइंस. एंड आई डिडंट हेट साइंस, बट आई हेटेड हाउ टीचर्स टॉट साइंस टू यू. एट दैट टाइम टीचर्स आजकल के ज़माने में बहुत अच्छे होते हैं, उस ज़माने में तो सीधा डंडा लेके मारते थे. सो आई डिड नॉट लाइक दैट काइंड ऑफ टीचिंग. So I didn't enjoy learning at that time. So I didn't like science. So
तो आपने फर्स्ट डे जब घर पे बोला कि मुझे एक्ट्रेस या मॉडल
नहीं, मैंने नहीं बोला, तो मेरे पापा नहीं, तो मेरे पापा ने डिसाइड किया मेरे लिए। तो मेरे पापा जब यहाँ शिफ्ट हुए तो उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि मेरा बड़ा मन था, मेरे पापा ना विनोद मेहरा जैसे दिखते थे यंग जब वो थे, तो बड़े हैंडसम, माय फादर वाज वेरी हैंडसम गाय, ही इज स्टिल इज, सो people from Gujarati film industry wanted him because my grandfather was staying in Gujarat. Okay. And he never gave it कि नहीं हमारे मज़हब में तो अलाउड नहीं है। हालांकि खुद बहुत बड़े फिल्म बफ थे मेरे दादाजी, फ्राइडे फर्स्ट डे फर्स्ट शो देखने जाते थे, गाड़ियाँ उलट पुलट करके जाते थे, बट जाते थे ज़रूर। बट बहुत रिलीजियस भी थे, तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं 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 करेंगे। बट माई फादर वॉज वेरी मॉडर्न, ही वॉज, वो उन्होंने बाहर पढ़ाई की थी, बाहर मतलब जयपुर में पढ़ाई की थी, एक सिटी में पढ़ाई की थी, तो उन्हें उनका थोड़ा पर्सपेक्टिव थोड़ा बड़ा था, तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं नहीं हमारे बच्चे पढ़ाई करेंगे, और जो है राजस्थान में वहाँ वैसे 14 साल 15 साल की उम्र में आपकी शादी हो जाती है, और फिर आप 16 साल की उम्र में बच्चे हो जाते हैं, और वो आपकी लाइफ है। तो उनको लगता था कि माई डॉटर विल नॉट लिव दिस काइंड ऑफ लाइफ। I had no understanding of life. At 9 years old, how do you even understand what is life and what you want to be? I was really good at narrating films. मैं फिल्म देख के आती थी थिएटर पे, क्योंकि हमारे पास पैसे थे, तो हम देखने चले आते थे थिएटर में, और हमारी क्या है, केबल भी थी पूरे गांव में, तो सबसे पहले फिल्में हमें देखने को मिलती थी। अच्छा। तो हमारे घर से चलती थी, और वो कैसे आपने देखे ना, गाँव बोल रहे हैं, मैं छोटा शहर है, बट होते ना छत होती है, वहाँ पे सब मोहल्ले वाले सारे ऊपर बैठ के ना, हमारे घर में टीवी चलता था और सब देखते थे, तो हम आवाज़ एकदम ऊंची करके रखते थे और सब देखते थे, भाई तुझे आवाज़ आ रही है, तुझे आवाज़ आ रही है। So this is how we used to show film to everybody. So I was the one person in my small area that who knew a lot about films according to them, because I used to watch movies and I used to act very well. मैं आके वापस सबकी एक्टिंग करके सब डिशुम ढाम ढाम सारे डायलॉग मुझे याद रहते थे, तो my father used to watch it. And in schools also I used to take part in a lot of dramas, डांस, ये वो, मतलब मैं भाग जाती थी, लेकिन मेरे टीचर पकड़ के ले आते थे कि तुम इतनी अच्छी हो, तुम क्यों नहीं करती। तो मुझे अपने पे बिल्कुल कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, मुझे लगता था मेरे टीचर पागल हैं, क्यों मुझे डाल देते हैं यहाँ पे। और मैं समहाउ उनको फर्स्ट प्राइजेस भी जीत के ले आती थी, फिर भी मुझे यकीन नहीं होता था कि ये मेरी डूइंग है, मुझे लगता था ये सब इनकी है, इन्होंने मुझे पुश किया है, पता नहीं मैं तो कुछ भी नहीं करने लायक नहीं हूँ। आई डोंट नो व्हाई आई हैड दैट belief about myself as a child. And so when my father came to Bombay, he met with a lot of film stars because उनका मार्बल का बिजनेस था। So he met शाहरुख खान, he met राजेंद्र कुमार साहब, उन्होंने सबके यहाँ मार्बल लगाया। तो जब उन्होंने मार्बल लगाया, उनको बहुत सारी पार्टीज़ के वो आते थे इनविटेशन ना, तो मुझे लेके जाते थे कि चलो चलो आज यहाँ जाएंगे, आज जहाँ जाएंगे, जैकी श्रॉफ को देखेंगे, इनको देखेंगे, उसको देखेंगे। तो मैं तो ऐसे चली आती थी, बिकॉज आई वाज अ फिल्म बफ, आई यूज्ड टू लव वाचिंग मूवीज एंड आई जस्ट वांटेड टू सी श्रीदेवी वंस, दैट वाज माय ड्रीम कि मुझे श्रीदेवी को एक बार देखना है। तो मैं पापा के साथ चली जाती थी। तो मेरे पापा ने जब वो सारा ग्लैमर और वो सब देखा, दैट इम्प्रेस्ड हिम सो मच एंड ही थॉट कि मेरी बेटी भी हीरोइन बन सकती है। तो द फर्स्ट टाइम ही सेड दैट टू मी, इतनी जोर से हंसी, मैंने कहा पापा पागल हो गए हो, आपको लगता है मैं हीरोइन बनूंगी? आपने देखा है उनको कैसी दिखती है? अभी एक 9 साल का बच्चा, वो क्या ही बोलेगा, क्या ही समझेगा। मतलब I was awestruck by all the actresses. They were so well kept, so, you know, wearing such great clothes and posh and fancy, and his skin was glowing and everything was so good. At that time, little did I know, I was like, Papa, look at them and look at me. I'm not that pretty. So my father shouted at me, like, never say that again. You're very beautiful and don't ever doubt that. So I used to think my father's gone crazy. And I used to think my father is crazy actually. he used to give challenges to people. Yeah. And then he used to say, now you have to do this. Okay. Like my daughter is a judo karate champion. इससे लड़ाई मत करना। And then he would make me learn judo karate. I had no idea. मतलब जब वो बोल के आते थे तब तक मुझे judo karate का जू नहीं पता होता था, लेकिन अब वो बोल के आ गए हैं तो अब मुझे सीखना है। तो ऐसी बहुत सारी मेरी चीज़ें मेरे पापा ने की है मेरे साथ। तो I built or developed this belief as a child that I will do anything that my father says. So I had this confidence that if my father decided something, that I can do. Because I actually started to do that. I actually started to do impossible tasks, which were not possible at all. He would say to somebody, मेरी बेटी 2 महीने में कुरान ख़त्म करेगी. It's very difficult to read Quran, to learn to read Quran. It's a very difficult language to learn. And it takes kids months to learn it. And I did finish it in 1.5 months. In fact, I did finish it in learning it in 1.5 months, which was a record for our town wherever he said that, because everybody used to taunt me, you should just make your kids read Quran and that's it. What do you want her to go to school for? Like क्या करना है बड़े होके, कुछ कमाना थोड़ी है बच्चों से, उसकी शादी करनी है. तो my father used to say everything is not about कमाना. They also need to feel independent. So at that time people used to find my father like he's crazy. Why is he talking like that? Like who does that? Today they fall on his feet. Today they say, bro, how did you do this? You know. So this is world. It teaches you a lot. And so I never believed that I could become an actor. I could become famous. I could look this pretty. But it was because of my father's belief in me, I became an actor, and a known one, a famous one.
तो आपकी जो जर्नी रही है, पहले अभी एक्टिंग पे, then I'll come on modeling. So like it started with I think in from Mann. Mann.
Yeah.
तो मैं आपसे मन का एक्सपीरियंस जानना चाह रहा हूँ. And why I'm asking that, two reasons. First of all, such a big project, so early on in your life and with such a star.
Yeah.
And then personally why I'm connecting to this, because I was on Tiger 3 set, and you know when I was there, I was like on Yash Raj studio, I was like, you know, अब तो हो गया, dream पूरा हो गया. अब कुछ भी रहा हो मैं, I was satisfied.
Right.
Childhood dream tick.
Right.
So again, like what was your reaction? What was your experience?
Well, जब पहली बार इंदु जी ने मुझे मन ऑफर करी थी, मैं उनके भाई की एक फिल्म कर रही थी एज ए लीड. तो उन्होंने वो मेरे रशेस देखे एंड ही सेड वुड शी लाइक टू डू इट. सो पहले मुझे था नहीं, मैं तो लीड रोल ही करती हूँ, मैं नहीं करूँगी. फिर उन्होंने कहा आमिर खान हीरो है. और इंदु जी इज़ ऑल्सो वन ऑफ माई फेवरेट डायरेक्टर, बिकॉज मैं उनकी बेटा बहुत सारी फिल्में जो दिल, मतलब आई वॉज अ फैन, ह्यूज फैन. तो उन्होंने कहा आमिर खान हीरो है, एंड आई वॉज अ ह्यूज फैन ऑफ आमिर खान. एंड सो आई सेड आमिर खान. I said, yes, I'll do it. So they said, it's a special appearance. एक गाना भी है तुम्हारा. I said, आमिर खान के साथ गाना है. I was like, अंदर तो I was like jumping. I was like, wow, आमिर खान के साथ गाना है. I would love to do it. So then the first day, you know, before going on set, they said, Aamir would like to meet you. Okay. तो मैं इतना डर गई. मैंने कहा क्यों? क्या हुआ? No, he just want to meet you and see, you know, how everything is. So I went to meet Aamir, I think at Filmy studio. He was already shooting for Mann, and looking as handsome as ever. And I was just blown away by the whole set, and everything was huge. And they were shooting that song, I think, Nasha ye pyar ka nasha hai. And I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And I looking at Aamir Khan, like chocolate boy and all that. I was too young to feel all this. Today I can say all this, but at that time, I don't know, I was feeling all kind of emotions.
He was like that.
I mean, he was, but today I have words for it. I was just 14 years old at that time. Yeah, like 14 or 16, I don't know. Very young. So, and also understand, I have not lived a normal life. I have lived all my life alone. I didn't have friends growing up. I lived my life only with my family. So I've only known family life. I've never had a chance to talk to a girlfriend how normal girls talk. So to me, to think like a guy is hot, it didn't exist only. If anybody says a guy is hot, I'll be like, hi Ram, kaisi baatein kar rahi hai? You know? So it was pop for me.
Even if he's a superstar like Aamir Khan.
But I liked him. He's so good looking and he's so nice and everything. All that was there. But I didn't have this, I didn't know how to actually, like, I was sexually not aware of all these things. I was just like, oh my God, just in awe of this young girl in her teenage years and sort of seeing Aamir Khan. So anyways, I was blown by the whole setup and everything. And then they're like, Aamir would like to meet you now. And I went in his vanity and I was so nervous. I was like, pata nahi kya bolega, kya dekega, cancel nahi kar de, reject nahi kar de. And then he just said, can you stand up? I said, yes, I can. So मैं खड़ी हुई, लंबी है थोड़ी. And I was like, shit, now what? क्योंकि एक फिल्म मुझे आमिर के साथ मैंने लगान के लिए मैं ऑडिशन देने गई थी. और उन्होंने ये कह के मुझे मेरा ऑडिशन नहीं निकला कि उन्होंने कहा ये लंबी है थोड़ी. तो मैंने कहा, तो मेरे फादर से, तो सर पैर थोड़ी काट सकते हैं. मतलब हाइट भी प्रॉब्लम है. मतलब हाइट भी प्रॉब्लम है. तो ऐसे मेरे साथ बहुत हो चुका है. बहुत सुंदर है, बहुत लंबी है, अरे ये तो बहुत गोरी है, ओहो हो. मतलब तो मुझे लगता था देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग विद माय ब्यूटी. आई स्टार्टेड हेटिंग माय ब्यूटी बिकॉज ऑफ दैट. बिकॉज एवरी टाइम यू वेंट देयर वाज सम कुछ ना कुछ नुक्स निकालने वाले रहते थे. तो एनीवे, सो यहाँ पर मैं गई एंड इट वाज सच अ क्यूट मीटिंग. एंड इट्स लाइक इट्स ओके नॉट अ वरी, आई मीन हाँ वी कैन मैनेज, विल मैनेज. ऐसे करके वो वो उन्होंने हाँ बोल दी, and I was so excited and so thrilled. And when I went on set, I was still very nervous the first day, I remember. But I think he saw it, and he started to play games with me like a child. You know, उनका favorite game है मुझे हाथ पे मारो. वो कभी मार नहीं खाने, मतलब वो हमेशा मुझे मारते थे, वो खुद नहीं मार खाते उनके हाथ पे मतलब. So you do this and then you slap, try to slap the hands. And he was so sharp, like I was a lallu in that. I used to always lose. But that whole thing, that whole act of his made me very easy. And then he was having fun with me. He was, photobombing my photos that people are taking. So it was like, I just felt like he's a friend. It didn't feel like he's a big superstar. And so all the scenes that I did with him, it just went on really, really well. And I was really impressed by how nice of a human being he is, how considerate he was to actually go out of his way. Or maybe he's like that, maybe he didn't realize he was going out of his way, but I felt that he was going out of his way. He didn't have to, be so playful with me. He didn't have to, but he did it just so that the whole atmosphere on the set becomes so nice. So that was something that I learned from him. That was something that I also apply in my my sets, when I work with newcomers, and if I see them a little intimidated by me or by the whole setup, I just make sure that they feel easy.
Or then if I talk about your TV show, Yeh Meri Life, and the character was Pooja, I think.
Yeah.
And you won ITA award for it, best debut, great face of the year. How was everything that time? What
was
the
surreal.
Feeling?
That was surreal. I mean, my show became such a hit.
And it was such an instant hit.
It was an instant hit, and people just wholeheartedly accepted me, loved me to ways that I could not imagine that I would be like that. Where mummies are coming saying, देखो बेटा, इसकी जैसी बनो, ऐसा होना चाहिए. मैं कह रही हूँ, okay आंटी, okay. ये देखो मेकअप नहीं करती है आंटी, वो तो रोल है, लेकिन otherwise तो I do makeup. They had no idea of the whole story behind how I got selected for Pooja. So, but this is how innocent people are. They see something and then they believe it. They think यही दुनिया है. यही अगर कोई हीरो ऑन स्क्रीन हीरो है तो वो सच में हीरो है, चाहे वो भले ऑफ स्क्रीन पैथेटिक ह्यूमन बीइंग हो, चाहे वो टॉर्चर करता हो लोगों को, लेकिन लोगों को लगता है कि भाई स्क्रीन पे हीरो है मतलब ये रियल में हीरो है. सो ये बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं जो मैंने अपनी लाइफ में देखी, एंड आई वाज सो ग्रेटफुल दैट पीपल gave me so much love. It took me a long time to reach that stage. It took me a lot of courage, a lot of strength, my parents' support to actually be able to sustain in that in the industry as a newcomer, because this industry can be cruel to you if you're a newcomer, and if you're naive like me, and if you take things personally, this can be very cruel line. So that's why I said, like, don't take things personally. I don't take things personally anymore, so nothing affects me as bad as it used to at that time. And now I know that why people behave. I'm able to see different perspectives of the same thing. So yeah, at that time I didn't have that, so I went through a lot of pain. Yeah.
But you were always open for TV?
No, I wasn't. No. In fact, when I went for the screen test of that show, everybody's looking at me like, "What are you doing here? You should not be doing TV." And so I used to think like, okay, when I go to films, they say you're too pretty for films, and I'm doing TV. You're saying you should not do TV. You are film material. Yeah. So I was like, "Kahan jaye aadmi?" But anyways, when I went to the audition, is a funny story. I'll tell you that in bits and pieces. I entered the office. These guys were looking for Pooja Mehta for like 2 years. They hadn't found the face, and then the producer of the show, Vipul D. Shah, I have known him before because I had shot a couple of reality shows with him. Okay. Because I was doing movies, so they used to call me as a celebrity guest. So मैंने उनके कुछ खुलजा सिम करके एक show आता था. I was in that. And then there was another show which was a singing show with किसमें कितना है दम. Sonu ji used to host it. Sonu Nigam ji. And so they called me. So I know them, and I've had a lot of fun shooting with them, and so they became friends. And especially Vipul and his wife, they became really fond of me, and they they used to tell me, आपको TV करना है तो बताना कभी. तो मैं ऐसे नहीं, मेरे को TV नहीं करना है, मैं फिल्म करना चाहती हूँ. कभी भी आपके उसमें फिल्म होगी तो मुझे बताइएगा. So ऐसे ठीक है. तो एक दिन he called me for a movie, for a South movie, because Vipul used to also write movies. He's also a writer, so he used to he's written Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein and all that. So he was sitting with a very big South producer director, or maybe he was making that movie, and he called me, said, "Hi, how are you?" I said, "I'm good." He's like, "I have a movie offer for you." And then that time in my life, I was going through some things personally where I believed that movies are pathetic, people are bad, and I don't want to do movies. So he's offering me a movie, and so I'm saying, no, I don't want to do a movie now.
Okay.
So he's like, why you don't want to do a movie now? He said, yeah, but if you have anything in television, let me know. Because TV was booming at that time, and movies were being made very pathetic, like very bad movies were being made at that time. So I said, तो उसके हाथ से फोन ही गिर गया, बड़ी अजीब लड़की हो तुम, जब मैं टीवी ऑफर करता हूँ तो तुमको टीवी नहीं करना है, मैं फिल्म ऑफर कर रहा हूँ तो फिल्म नहीं करनी है. मैं कहा नहीं, I have some reasons and whatever, I was going through something personal. So he's like, okay, then good, I'm making a TV show, will you like to come and meet us in the office? I said, yeah, I'll come. So I enter the office and I'm wearing high heels, stilettos. उस ज़माने में कोई stilettos भी नहीं पहनता था, इतनी fashion भी नहीं थी. And I was just like, मैंने भी नई fashion सीखी थी बहुत, और मैं सारे ब्रांडेड कपड़े पहन के, मेरे गोल्डन बाल और मेरी लेंस वाली आंखें लेके वहाँ गई, तो उनको लगा बाप रे, टिकटॉक 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 ऐसे आवाज़ें आती है, लिटरली एक फिल्म सीन था वो. सब मुड़ के देखते हैं, everybody is looking at me and I'm walking, and so they are saying, oh my god, why is this girl here? And all these girls are sitting there to give audition for Pooja Mehta. So they thought कि हमारा तो नहीं होगा selection. And when I went inside, all the channel people were also sitting, so they were just looking at me like this. And nobody's saying anything. So Vipul is being nice and this is Shama, meet her, and hi everybody, hello. And so everybody's just being quiet, and then he just wanted to break the ice. Like, guys, don't go on her exterior. Because I had no idea what was this all about. I was just wondering why people are staring at me like this. So it's like, she's a very simple girl at heart, and that is what we need for our character. So let's just take a screen test. So channel just looked at Vipul like, you've gone crazy, you've gone nuts, like you can't take this girl for Pooja Mehta. Because they had an idea of a very simple girl, very naive, very like, जिसने दुनिया देखी ही नहीं है. तो मैं तो एकदम फैंसी, पता नहीं कहाँ से बन के ऐसे हीरोइन बन के गई थी वहाँ पे. And they're like, okay, Vipul, if you say so, like he's a producer, they can't deny him. Like, okay, we'll take a screen test. So Vipul called me, he's like, you have anything really cheap? I said, what do you mean? He's like, something very cheap, like some purana salwar kameez. I said, I don't have anything like that. Yeah. So he said, can you please borrow it from somebody? Because I want you to wear that for screen test. And can you darken your hair? I said, well, how do I darken my hair? He said, just go to a salon and just like अपने बाल जो है तुमने golden कराना. मैंने लोग golden कराने के पैसे देते हैं, तुम मुझे dark कराने के लिए बोल रहे हो? He said, okay, I will pay the money. Yeah. You get it darkened. Okay. So they sent me to a salon to de-glamorize. इसके बाल काले कर दो. Okay, lens निकाल के आना. Makeup मत करना बिल्कुल. I said, okay, ठीक है, बिना मेकअप के मतलब कैसे लगेगा? अरे तुम्हारी स्किन इतनी अच्छी है, तुम अच्छी लगोगी. Don't worry about it. And I had long, thick hair. So he's like, चलो तुम वैसे आओ. तो मेरा स्क्रीन टेस्ट जब हुआ तो वैसे हुआ, मैं बिल्कुल बिना मेकअप के एक पोनीटेल बांध के. मैंने अपनी भाभी से बोला कि भाभी तुम्हारा कोई पुराना सूट है तो घर में तुम पहनती होगी, वो लिया, वो मैंने पीछे से पिनअप करके मैंने वो पहना. और दे वर लाइक वेरी श्योर कि ये तो लड़की जाएगी नहीं. फिर धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे मेरा गेटअप चेंज हुआ तो दे वर ऑल्सो सरप्राइज कि ये तो मतलब बहुत ही अलग लग रही है अभी. आई स्टिल रिमेंबर दैट शॉट when I called Papa. It was my invention because I called my father Papa because I'm a Rajasthani. Rajasthanis we all call Papa. Papa, what are you doing? So they said we don't want too much of this, too much. ज़्यादा accent नहीं चाहिए, ये नहीं चाहिए, वो नहीं चाहिए, थोड़ा सा ही accent चाहिए. तो अब मैं सोचूं साला थोड़ा सा accent क्या होता है? गुजराती accent चाहिए उनको. Luckily I'm a Marwadi, so the accent is very similar. If you hear a Marwadi person talking to and a Gujarati person talking, it's a very similar kind of tonality and very similar words. So I don't know how, while saying my line, I said Mendi. My Mandy was my friend, in the show. I called her Mendi. Somehow I just called her Mendi, and somehow I just called Rasik Lal my Papa. And those two words just clicked. And of course, I was very good with emotions and all that. So they just stood and started clapping like this. And this creative head, Gurshil Walia, she just came jumping. I found my Pooja. Until then, I had no idea what this show is about, nothing. I just knew I have to go and give this audition. Because Vipul really wanted me to do that because he somewhere saw that real me. So even after that, they had to call me. And when I went to the channel and the channel guys looking at me like that, it's like, she's doing Pooja Mehta? The head of channel that time was Kunal Das Gupta, I think, yeah. And he was like, you are doing Pooja Mehta? So they had a very different image of Pooja in their mind. Somehow I was able to portray that on screen. And I'm like a grid. I actually change completely. With each get-up and each look. So that is my plus point as an artist, I feel like. Even I didn't know if I was able to pull it off, but I was, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's a journey. And then chalo sara baal color karana, it all paid off with the best debut award.
फिर तो यार अरे वो भी मुझे सरप्राइज लगा because बहुत सारी चीज़ें you learn कि बहुत सारी चीज़ें यहाँ पेड होती है, बहुत सारे लोग अवार्ड खरीद लेते हैं और ये और वो. So हमें तो लगा था सारे अवार्ड हमारे ही हैं because शो इतना पॉपुलर था ना उस दौरान. उस शो से बड़ा कोई शो ही नहीं था. तो अवार्ड्स कैसे नहीं होने चाहिए हमारे. बट फिर हमें अवार्ड्स नहीं मिले तो हमको लगा है ये क्या हो रहा है. फिर कुछ ऐसी नॉमिनेशंस थी जो होनी भी नहीं चाहिए, जो वैलिड ही नहीं थी, बट उनको अवार्ड मिल गए. तो मैंने कहा ये तो बड़ा अजीब काम है. आई वाज रियली हार्ट ब्रोकन. देन ITA पीपल कॉल्ड मी. मैंने कहा मैं नहीं आ रही बिकॉज आई डोंट गो टू अवार्ड्स एंड जस्ट क्लैप. सो नो you must come, they said. I said no, I'm not coming. Why should I come? What for? Because I think these awards, they didn't have any nomination. They were straight giving awards to these two categories of newcomers. They didn't have any nomination for that. They were straight away giving awards. So मैं नहीं आ रही तो उन्होंने वो force करने लगे. तो अब मुझे doubt हो गया. मैंने कहा इतना क्यों force कर रहे हो आने के लिए? I said I'm very busy shooting. And I was very very busy.
ऐसे hint देते हैं वो.
हाँ तो वो कह रहे अरे आप आ जाइए ना प्लीज आ जाइए ऐसे करके. तो मैंने कहा नहीं मुझे पहले बताओ क्या है. कहते कुछ बहुत स्पेशल है आपके लिए. तो मैं समझ गई कि मुझे कुछ ना कुछ अवार्ड मिलेगा. मुझे नहीं पता था कौन सा अवार्ड मिलेगा बट कुछ तो है स्पेशल. सो आई वेंट एंड I told my parents also to come because my father's dream was like when my daughter gets an award, he wanted to be there. So I told my mom and dad, I said, wear your best suits. We're going today. And I could literally, I had like half an hour, my production house gave me half an hour. कि आधा घंटे में आपको जाना है, award लेना है, वापस आना है, shooting करनी है. Because at that time, मर के शूटिंग करते थे हम. कोई रूल नहीं था, कोई रेगुलेशन नहीं थी. शूटिंग पे शूटिंग करे जा रहे. So I think I received the award. I had no idea if I was getting that award, and that meant a lot for me because it was genuine, and it somebody recognized me, and it was really really special for me. And my parents were there. I called them on stage, and I think everybody stood up for that, and it was a moment to remember always. But something that was taken away from me, like within seconds, I was like, I just got an award. Yeah, चलो शूटिंग करते हैं. और उसके बाद बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हुई क्योंकि मैं हमेशा काम ही कर रही थी, वक्त नहीं मिल पाता था. तो मैं एक्चुअली देख नहीं पाई मेरा स्टारडम कितना बड़ा था. लोग मुझे आके कहते थे कि तुम्हें पता है तुम कितनी बड़ी स्टार हो, लोग मरते हैं तुमसे मिलने के लिए. एंड आई फील लाइक क्या पागल है, झूठ बोल रहा है ऐसे. बट जब भी मैं पब्लिक में जाती थी, तब जब मैं वो पागलपन और हुजूम अपने लिए देखती थी, तो मुझे बिलीव नहीं होता था कि वाओ, is this what my show has created? Is it I have created this? Like that was something to really cherish. Yeah.
And then 7.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I think so. A couple of things I was really surprised when I was reading about it. First of all, Yash Raj producing a series in 2010.
Yes.
And then I think it was one of the most expensive series for that time.
Yeah. It was the most expensive series.
Yeah.
Not one of the most.
Oh, the most expensive.
It was the most expensive series of that time.
So how was, मतलब क्या था, मतलब ऐसा?
मतलब even that was something like it was my dream to work with Yash Raj, and I think you manifest things. 2 दिन पहले उस time 2 दिन पहले मैं सोच रही थी ऐसे बैठ के, यार ये यश राज मुझे फोन क्यों नहीं करता है? कभी देगा मुझे काम ये, they should give me work. I was just thinking like that, and 2 दिन के बाद I get a call from Yash Raj studio.
Yeah.
And I was like, मेरे हाथ से फोन गया. I was like, what? Did somebody listen to me? Like, what happened? And so they said, we are making this one series, and would you like to come and audition for it? I said, yeah, sure. And I used to not give auditions, many auditions. By then, everybody knew me, so I didn't have to go and give auditions. But it was Yash Raj, and I wanted to work with them. And I was like, I don't mind. I'm coming. I went there. They were very sweet. They gave me Shunya's role, and I did it really well. And मैं आ गई घर पे वापस, and within like 2-3 days I was called in office and signed the contract and everything, and all that happened so fast that I was like, I can't believe I just signed a Yash Raj show, like a Yash Raj show. Are you kidding me? Adi would like to meet you.
Okay.
And I was like, what? Who is Aditya Chopra? He's a myth. Because nobody has ever seen him at that time. That's a name that only exists for us to hear. I had not seen Aditya Chopra ever before. And so, I mean, I did not know that this is Aditya Chopra because he never came in limelight ever. And so I say, he wants to meet me? He's like, yeah. And they were also very surprised, like, he doesn't meet many people. So I was like, okay. And he was so cool. He met me. I was expecting somebody really like very different than what he was. Very cool, very normal. And he's telling me, I've seen so much of your work and I always wanted to work with you. And I'm listening to that. I can't believe that this man is actually saying that he wanted to work with me. And he's like, see, this is how much you doubt yourself, right? You never actually think that you're worthy of something like that. And so I'm like blown away. I'm like, oh, he wanted to work with me? I mean, that is news. And you've seen my work, like you see things.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course I watch everything. And then I realized, oh, really, I have seen the same man in theaters a couple of times when I've gone to watch movies. So he's the first one to go for Friday first. And I've seen him, but I didn't know he was Aditya Chopra then. So now I know. And I was like, wow, you saw my work. I was like, thank you for all this appreciation. And he's like, let's create something cool. That just built so much of confidence. That just gave me so much life. And that was a very cool show. That was too ahead of his time, and that was a very cool show.
No.
Yeah. So something I was really, and that's why when I tell you that on their set, when I felt like that, so lonely, so empty, so scared, I was really scared. I was really scared for my life because I had never felt like that.
So after that, I'm just curious. So you worked in the short film Sexoholic, which was a massive hit, and then the show created by Vikram Bhatt, Maya, and all these. So, just for my understanding, so like, was there a conscious change in choices, or it was something just came naturally and you kind of accepted it?
I wanted to be a little daring. I was daring at that time, if I can say it. I was fearless, and so I wanted to, the projects also that comes to you, that you're emanating as a personality, as a person. So yeah, these projects came to me, and I saw them for what they truly were, and I said I took up the challenge, and with Sexoholic, it was like, the first time when he narrated, I said no to him like 5 times before that.
Okay.
And he was a friend, Shailendra, and he was after my life. He's like, I'm not looking for somebody who's sexy and hot and all that. I'm looking for an actress who can pull this off. And so I was like, are you crazy? Do you see me like that? You nutcase, you this, that? He's like, no, please don't take it like that. I know so many girls who can, it's not a film about sex. It's a film about emotions. It's a film about this person who goes through this journey, and I need a good actress who can do this, and I can trust you because you're my friend, and you can trust me because I'm your friend. I won't do anything that you don't approve of, and this and that and blah blah blah. So so then that's how that happened, and of course it was the most watched short film. And I believe that if you do something with all your heart and you put in real emotions in it, and it has the power to change people. Because what are we artists all about? We have the potential, the capability to take people into some other world, right? And actually transform their thinking. That is our power as an artist. And I was trying to explore that power more and more and more because I was an artist, because I am an artist, and I had that power and that reach, to reach people's hearts. And I was connected to so many people, millions of people liked me, loved me. And that's how, when I spoke of something of my personal life, was taken so seriously. And because I spoke from my heart, it was taken even more deeper, and people could resonate with it. So I understood that why am I an artist? Because I always asked, like, why did I have to be an artist? Like, what for? And then you realize that if you have a position in this world, if you're given something, if you earn something, it's not just to receive, it's to give back. Whatever you receive, there will come a time in your life when you will have to give it back, because That's what life is all about. It gives and it receives. It gives and it receives. So you have to be ready to receive and you have to be ready to give. And that's my purpose today. I was always asked, what is my purpose of being here? Our purpose is to just continuously grow and then share that growth with everybody. Share it so the coming world becomes a better world.
Yeah.
The world that we all imagine in our dreams, and we are talking, we want a better world, It doesn't just happen like that. It happens by being the better version of yourself. So yeah, that's how it happened. So even Maya happened like that. I was just very courageous. I was just very fearless. And I knew that if I could portray the right emotions, people will see it for what it is. And they did.
But wow, what a diversity, I would say. Now, you did a children's fantasy series also, then this, Maya, Pooja, and all of these characters.
I wanted to explore all different characters. Like, if you're always playing safe, if you're always like, that's my baby. Hi, Casper.
Oh,
he loves it when people come home.
I think next time we need his time also for the podcast.
Yes, he's been dying to come here.
So, आजकल, especially after OTT, everything has become kind of professional, and that's what we hear at least. And the casting process and everything. So, how has it evolved from the time you came into the industry, and was it, I don't know, how professional it was it smooth, or how are the changes compared to today?
Well, it was very easy to connect with people earlier.
Okay.
I would say, in my experience. You could literally pick up a phone and call the biggest director, producer.
Okay.
Their numbers were easily available. And they would be sweet enough to call you and meet you also.
All right.
There were not so many people wanting to be actors and actresses at that time when I had started. There were people, but not to this level. Today, everybody is an actor, an influencer, and everybody wants to be into this line. Earlier, probably even if they wanted to, they didn't know the means to achieve it or whatever.
Right.
So very few who could, who had the courage or the will or desire to become an artist or become a hero, superstar, whatever, heroine. They would come to the city like Bombay. First of all, you have to leave everything and come here, and then find these people who make cinema, and then go meet them, and if they like you, then only you can become a hero, heroine, or उसके बाद भी आपकी picture चलती है नहीं चलती है, उसमें बहुत depend करता है. So it was a long process, but much easier in terms of getting connected to people. Today I feel like people are very scared to be connecting to anybody. There's so much available. If to get to a director or a producer, you have to go through so many people पहले. Even to casting directors हो गए हैं, पता नहीं और क्या क्या हैं, assistant directors हैं, मतलब उन सब से आप घूम उसके बाद में एंड में जाके मतलब अगर कोई डायरेक्टर प्रोड्यूसर आपसे मिलना चाहता है तो मिलेगा. It wasn't like this before. So professional, not professional, तभी professional थे, ऐसा नहीं था कि professional नहीं थे. Professional तो आज भी हैं, पर हाँ बहुत mentality लोगों की change हो गई है. बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो पहले टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड ली जाती थी in terms of the atmosphere on workspace and all that, now it has changed to a greater degree. With a lot of platforms coming in, I feel like there's a lot more available for a lot many more people to achieve their dream and to explore and everything. And उसके अलावा आजकल तो आप कैमरा उठा के you can become famous tomorrow. So आपको यहाँ आने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है.
Right.
You can be anywhere in the world and engage an audience, and today you can make money on Instagram, you can make money on any platform, YouTube. We have so many influencers who are doing that today.
मैंने ना एक I mean, without taking names, I was.
Did you have any experience like that? I'm sure you're a newcomer. You'll have many experience to share like that.
Yes, there are.
Yeah. So
because
I've heard a lot of stories like that, especially with boys. I feel very sorry for boys nowadays, because one day my brother came home crying, and he was crying so badly. Like मतलब मैं डर गई, मैंने कहा क्या हुआ तुझे, किसी ने मारा, कुछ लगा नहीं था उसे, but he was crying, he was furious. And he shared this one story with me, and some guy was like nasty with him, some casting guy. And he's like, I can't believe he did that to me. And I just looked at him, I said, can you imagine what all girls had to go through for so many years? And now guys are also going through that. I mean, it's really, really bad. That I don't think anybody should torture people like that. People don't deserve to be tortured like this. Just because you are in a position of power, nobody should. be so unkind. And these people, they can be nasty.
Oh,
they can
very
be
nasty.
very mean with their words, you know, if they don't get what they want. So I appeal to those people, like, don't do that. It's very harmful for your own being. You really are, you're unhappy within, go find that joy that you want to create within. And that only you can find, not by misusing or ill-treating other people, but by actually respecting yourself and respecting everybody else. The more you ill-treat other people, the more you misuse other people, the more misery you create in your life.
Right.
And it's a fact. It's a fact. I've not met one single human being till date, big or small, who has been not nice to people, who has been unkind to people and has been happy. Not one.
And not just for casting, but for everybody.
Anything, everybody. Yeah,
actors,
everything.
everybody.
Like directors, I've seen so many directors are very unhappy and then they create a hell for artists on the set and then the whole product goes for a toss. I mean, it's your film, isn't it? Aren't you passionate about that? Why would you ruin that like that? Why would you ruin it by ruining the entire atmosphere of the set because you can't handle your emotions?
Right.
How about taking some responsibility and doing some meditation and doing some work, doing some therapy to heal you so that you can actually create a healed world, you know? So I've seen that. It has happened with me a couple of times and I've seen that a lot of stories happening with my friends and those are not very nice things to experience. Especially for a newcomer, they're so naive, so young, fresh. Like I thought, oh, the world is such a beautiful place. I'm here and I'm going to be like, wow. But then it hits you and slaps you so badly that you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
So, again, I was, by not taking names, but I was,
story बता रहे थे.
तो मैं एक सेट पे था, तो एक क्रू मेंबर, a very, like a head of a department per se. So ये series बन रही थी. I actually want to know your opinion on this and that's why I'm telling you this story. So वो बोल रहे थे यार इस सीरीज में ना रोमांस है ना अभी के OTT प्लेटफॉर्म के लिए ना रोमांस है ना अल्कोहल है ना गालियाँ है ना सेक्स है ना लड़कियाँ है कुछ भी नहीं. It's just you know guys talking to each other and all of that. तो ये कैसे चलेगा? You know it was just and whatever happened with that series is another thing. But according to stats एक House of Cards करके series है बाहर. So I think what I've read about it, how it was made, they searched all the words जिससे एक सीरीज सुपर हिट होती है.
अच्छा.
Yeah. So they took and all these came, including politics.
Okay.
And then उनके producers और creators ने बोला हम इसी पर इन सबको incorporate करके एक सीरीज बनाओ. हाँ.
It's one of my favorite series by the way.
Correct. It became what it became. So what do you think about this mentality versus if you were to be in producer's shoes perhaps or an actor's say you know to work in a mentality which is coming from the top like that. तो क्या
I don't
लगता
think
है
many
आपको?
people have courage to do things that what their heart actually tells them to. That's why I said that पहले के डायरेक्टर्स में गुर्दा होता था कि वो अगर किसी चीज़ में बिलीव करते थे तो आज भी वो है जिनमें है वो फिर वैसी ही फिल्में बनाते हैं वो फिर यूनिक फिल्में होती हैं और फिर बाकी सब उनकी कॉपी करने लग जाते हैं. तो ऐसी मेरी बहुत बड़ी आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हुई हैं. लोग मुझे कहते हैं कि आप इतने अच्छे एक्टर हो, यू नो, आपको तो और काम करना चाहिए, बट आपको ये काम नहीं करना चाहिए, ये तो क्या है, एक्टिंग वाला काम है. तो मैंने कहा एक्टर तो एक्टिंग ही करेगा ना अच्छी, वो तो हमारे लिए, तो मैं तो यही सोचूंगी कि कौन सी फिल्म में मुझे अच्छा एक्टिंग करने का मौका मिल रहा है. सो आई हैव लेफ्ट अ लॉट ऑफ शोज बिकॉज दे वर अननेसेसरी गालीज, अननेसेसरीली बहुत सारे ऐसे सीन्स थे जिनका कोई कारण नहीं था. एंड आई एम वेरी अगेंस्ट दिस बिकॉज यू आर लिटरली ट्रेनिंग एन ऑडियंस to be immune to listening to these words.
Right.
That's not a good sign. Imagine the power of cinema. Cinema has amazing power. You have to understand you are teaching something to people. That's why when you come up with a positive message, it is taken very well and on a large scale, and the world heals with it. You have the power to heal the world, and you're in the name of reality, you're saying अरे ऐसा तो होता है, तो हर दूसरा वर्ड गाली कैसे हो सकता है, ऐसा तो मैंने नहीं देखा रियल में गाली देते हुए लोगों को देखा है, लेकिन इतना गाली देते हुए तो मैंने भी नहीं देखा. So how do we have to control that as makers. We have to control that. We have to not push that kind of content to public. It's not healthy.
Right.
It's very unhealthy.
Very unhealthy, yeah.
Very unhealthy. I mean, आप मेरी एक फ्रेंड है, आपको सादा एग्जांपल देती हूँ. कॉमेडी है लेकिन कॉमेडी के साथ साथ सैड भी है. मेरी एक फ्रेंड है जो जो
sarcastic comedy
हाँ
बड़ी अच्छी
मतलब
लगती है.
और मैं उसको भी बोलती हूँ कि मैं जिंदगी में मैंने कभी मतलब ऐसे ये वर्ड्स यूज़ नहीं किए गाली वाले. तो समथिंग लाइक अ चूतिया विल बी ऑल्सो गाली फॉर मी. वो आज मैं बोल पा रही हूँ, मैं 5 साल के पहले 3 साल के पहले ये बोल भी नहीं सकती थी. तो वो हर एक को ना, शी इज़ वेरी क्यूट, हर एक को ऐसे बोलती है बिकॉज शी इज़ लाइक अ लिटिल टॉमबॉयश. तो अरे ये चूतिया, अरे माँ गया, ये वो सब ऐसी ऐसी गाली देती है. तो एक दिन, अब मैं उसके साथ बहुत वक्त बिता चुकी हूँ, तो सडनली मैं किसी के साथ बैठी थी, बैठे बैठे मैंने बोला अरे सडनली आई वाज लाइक वाह, where did this come from? It came from somewhere, and suddenly I realized that friend of mine, I said, because she abuses so much,
Right.
just for fun, I've learned that, and now I'm using it. So this is how fast it travels. If you keep on showing that to people, then people who don't abuse will also abuse.
It goes within us. We don't
Of
even
course it
realize.
does. It's subconscious training. So that's why you have to be very conscious what you train other people. Like I can't
Right.
imagine a better world and then go on feeding negativity to this world. Through my actions, through my whatever I do. I try to be as positive as possible. I try to, because I want a positive world. I want a better world. I want it. And so I have to be very, very conscious as to, in this position that I have been given, whatever I do, at least one person must be following it. I'm being very orthodox. वो लोग बोलेंगे millions follow करते हैं, but at least one person. पर वो एक बंदा भी अगर मेरी हरकतें देख के या मेरी कोई इंटरव्यू सुन के अगर वो बंदे की लाइफ बेटर होती है, तो वो बंदा मेरे बेटर वर्ल्ड का विजन पूरा करता है. राइट. तो आई हैव टू बी वेरी कॉन्शियस. क्या आप कॉन्शियस नहीं है? क्या आप नहीं चाहते कि बेहतर वर्ल्ड हो? आप चाहते हैं ना. तो पैसों के लिए या नाम के लिए क्यों ऐसे एजेंडा क्रिएट करने हैं? आई एम वेरी अगेंस्ट दैट. आई डोंट थिंक वी नीड टू डू दैट. I think we can actually make good films which have been made in the past and they have done amazing business and they've made so much money. So even if to make money, you don't have to do this.
So let's talk about your modeling career a bit. And you have worked with the biggest names in the country, whether it is Manish Malhotra, Ritu Kumar, Shaina NC, everybody. And how does it feel to, just, honestly, for an aspiring model, it's a checklist.
So yeah, I've never started as a model. That I did as a celebrity. So I was a showstopper for all these people because I was an actor and known actor and a celebrity. And so by being an actor, I was offered ad films. Sort of, because I had long hair, I had good skin, I was offered all these ad films. I never really consciously went only for modeling first. So everybody say, अरे सब model से फिर actor बनते हैं, फिर कुछ और बनते हैं. So I say मेरे को ना शुरू से ये typical चीज़ से थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. मुझे आप जैसे एक ढांचे में ढालने की कोशिश करते हो ना, my being just become very rebellious. It's like, I'll show you how it's done the other way. So it's like I started as an actor, then I did modeling, then I did theatre. People start from theatre.
Oh, okay. So
then I did theatre because I was very, popular in what I was doing. So people were like, oh, would you like to do theatre? I was like, yeah, okay, I'll experience it. I did it for experience. Didn't enjoy much, so I didn't do it. But yeah, I mean, you experience everything at your time, your pace, and your style. Why must it go in one particular way that everybody's been going through? Everybody is not everybody. You are different, I am different, everybody is different. We have our own life journey. We've come here with our own agenda and our own desire to live life in our own way. So why must it be looked at, अरे शाहरुख खान तो ऐसे हीरो बन गया, तू क्यों नहीं बना? अरे दीपिका पादुकोण तो ऐसे हीरो, तुम क्यों नहीं बना? अरे भाई, उसकी अपनी जर्नी है, मेरी अपनी जर्नी है. मेरी लाइफ में शायद कुछ और बहुत अच्छी चीज़ें हैं जो उसके पास नहीं है. So why are you comparing that? Don't compare. आपकी सक्सेस है, आपकी इंटरनल ग्रोथ कितनी हुई है, वो आपकी रियल सक्सेस है. आप मुझे बंदे बताओ, उनके मैंने बड़े बड़े लोग देखे हैं जिनके पास पैसे बहुत हैं लेकिन अंदर से खाली हैं. आंखें खाली है, दिल खाली है, आत्मा खाली है. और मेरे दोस्त रहे हैं बहुत सारे, मैं बहुत सारे लोगों को ऐसा पूछती हूँ, तो अब क्या मिला तुम्हें? It's just like, I was in a very big party one time.
These party stories interest me.
So I was there and, it was a big wedding and so I entered and everybody ran to me.
Okay.
And everybody, oh, Shama ji, greeted. And suddenly, behind me, Ambanis entered. And obviously, then they ran to Ambanis. Now they left me. And then I'm stood there with nothing, nobody. What the hell? Where did everybody go? Everybody went to the second guest. Then the Mittals came. The Mittals were bigger than Ambanis at that time. Then they left Ambanis. Then they ran to with us. And I'm looking at all this. I'm just
This
observing
defines
everything.
life in
This defines
20
life.
minutes.
And then I see them going to with it. And then comes Shah Rukh Khan. Everybody leaves me. Then goes to Shah Rukh Khan. So I was like, wow. This is amazing. This is a sight to see.
ये बहुत ही colorful journey है, I would say, and you know, like of course I hope more positive colors to be added now, and so now just coming back or coming to the conclusion, I would say that after doing everything, perhaps, I think, and what's your eventual milestone in life?
वो कहते हैं ना कि अपने सपने को शेयर नहीं करना चाहिए सबके साथ जब तक वो पूरे नहीं होते.
अच्छा.
तो बहुत सारी ख्वाहिशें, बहुत सारी मैनिफेस्टेशंस अभी ऐसी हैं जो ज़िंदगी में मुझे हासिल करनी है. और आई थिंक मुझे पहली बार इतने डिज़ायर्स हुए हैं. मैं ना शुरू से बहुत, बिकॉज आई वाज सो ट्रेन टू बी सर्विंग टू माय पीपल इन माय फैमिली, बिकॉज आई वाज द एल्डेस्ट इन द फैमिली एंड आई वाज रियली subconsciously trained that it is my job to make everybody's life better. I never really saw dreams for myself. That's why I never saw how to get married. I never knew if I would get married. I didn't know if I would get time or energy to get married. I think that's been my victory, my journey, that I have some desires of my own now which I want to fulfill. So where do I see myself? I will not share that.
Okay. Perhaps you have a different podcast for after it's achieved.
Yes, after it's achieved. Yes. So yeah, another thing that if you have something, if you have any dreams or desires, don't share them with people. Don't share them with anybody. Not because of any other reason, but just you never know who's going through what and what vibrations is created after listening to that by other people. You know, it can be a hindrance or whatever. Just don't share. You do your work, let the world see.
All right. Thank you so much, Shama.
You're most
I think
welcome.
it was a really, really nice, wonderful conversation.
Yes.
And on the note we started, when you said ki you woke up okay.
Yeah.
And I hope it was a
I'm
good,
feeling
lovely.
so much better, you know. People really underestimate the power of conversation.
Correct.
So thank you for having this, chill conversation with me. It's just made me feel so much better. Having so many people at home, you know, you all have added to my energy. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. It's our pleasure, in fact.
You.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.